here we go. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Pulse of Ithaca podcast, your local podcast for entertainment in the greater Ithaca, New York area. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Sean, your host, and joining me is my ever-knowledgeable co-host, Pete. This week we'll be discussing some upcoming concerts in Ithaca and exploring the Fillmore Glen State Park. We're also excited to bring our special treat. 10 minutes from now we'll be interviewing Chris O'Brien from Giant Panda Guerilla Dub Squad, diving into their unique sound, previewing their upcoming show at Deep Dive here in Ithaca. Let's get started.
Yes. Sean, I can tell you're nervous. You said you were nervous before we're doing our first interview this week.
We have a celebrity on the show today, so yeah, I'm a little nervous.
Right on. All right, so good stuff. Well, once again, we're here at the Canopy Hotel in downtown Ithaca. Very nice of them to host us every other week here and give us these plush accommodations. So for all of our listeners out there, thank you for joining us today. We're really excited. We're doing something a little bit different this week. We are going to give you a breakdown of concerts and entertainment that's going on over the next couple weeks. We're also going to, at the end of the call, please stick with us. We're going to preview or review one of the local hiking spots that Sean's picked out for us. But in between that, we actually have an interview with Chris O'Brien, drummer of Giant Panda Guerilla Dub Squad. So super excited to have him on with us. Very exciting. Coming up here in about 10 minutes from now. So I think at this point, we're just going to dive right into what we have coming up.
Let's do it.
So right off the top, Deep Dive.
Yes.
Seems to be the most popular venue that we cover here. They seem to have the most going on every week.
That's true.
They're generally the first website that I check out. So coming up here on Thursday, December 21st, there's actually a Fish cover band, which I'm really excited about. They're called Nectar, and they're doing their third annual Festivus event.
PH.
Yeah, with a PH. Nice. That's right. And so they're going to be playing a show on Thursday. It's $9 in advance, $15 a day of the show, $10 with a student ID, 18 plus. And they're Ithaca's premier Fish tribute band. They're made up of 4 musicians who are very well known in the Ithaca music scene. They put their own unique twist on the vast music catalog of Fish. And one of the things I really like about their shows is they come in with a stellar light production. They bring in Ari Kiseloff and Kristen Lovelace Ross to create the Fish experience as best they can. So we know it won't be the true Fish experience, but hey, it's great. It's going to be Thursday night right here in Ithaca, December 21st.
First day of winter.
That's right, first day of winter. That's right, today's the shortest day of the year, right? Is the solstice? No.
No. Shortest day is
Thursday's the 21st, so yeah.
So Thursday's the shortest day of the year.
Yeah, exciting.
Nice.
So, yeah, what else do we have coming up? Oh, so we're going to talk a little bit about this more later, but Giant Panda Guerilla Dub Squad is playing Friday, December 29th here in Ithaca at Deep Dive.
Yes.
They're also playing the following night at Ironworks in Buffalo, New York. So for all of our Buffalo friends who may be listening in.
Sweet.
Who I've been spamming the link to, telling them to check out what we have going on down here.
Check it out.
I have a couple friends that are going to be going to the Buffalo show as well. So there's 2 chances to check out Panda here coming up in about a week and a half. I'm probably going to go up to Buffalo for that show. So hoping to catch back-to-back Panda shows. Let's see here. Also, next week, Scuba Jerry presents a Very Jerry Christmas, as they're labeling it. I really like the poster they had for this. They had a snowboarder on the front.
Yeah, it's very dope.
Yeah, I was digging that. That show is Saturday, December 23rd. It's also a Deep Dive. It's an early show, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Perfect for me.
So, yeah, we dig that. And from looking at the flyer, they said, don't forget your Hawaiian shirts.
Check.
Ugly sweaters are also allowed.
Check.
And Birkenstocks.
I don't have any, but might get some.
Probably with socks, considering the weather.
Right.
But, yeah, always a good time. Scuba Jerry, they've been together, I think, only for about a year.
Which is weird.
Yeah, like they've got so much momentum.
Yeah.
I feel like, this is their first time playing Deep Dive. Yep. It's probably the biggest room that they've played here in Ithaca. And I feel like they've gotten a lot of momentum. I mean, between every guy in the band, if every guy in the band brings 5 people,
right,
they're all locals, right? So right away they just have a great following. I know my wife Joanna's going to bring some bubbles.
Yes,
they're going to have some great bubbles. Yeah, they're going to have some great posters for sale. Definitely going to be a good time.
Dude,
so
I can't wait.
Yeah, bring your dancing shoes. Come join us. Sean and I will both be there.
Yes.
So that's pretty much what we have going on the next week and a half or so.
Are you wearing an ugly sweater or a Hawaiian shirt?
I don't know. Probably an ugly sweater.
Okay.
I got
I was leaning toward that as well.
I got like a red sweater with a reindeer on it.
Sweet. I got a vintage Miller Lite sweater.
Perfect.
Nice. All right. So we got a lot going on. We have Christmas coming up. We have New Year's Eve coming up. Pete, what's some New Year's Eve events are coming in town that you can talk about? Yeah,
so there's shaping up to be a New Year's Eve in terms of a live show. So one of the shows that I'm really looking forward to is Nako and Medicine for the People. This band actually has a local connection. TJ, who does the promotion over at Deep Dive, is the trombone player in this band.
Nice.
And really looking forward to this. For those of you who aren't familiar, Nako Medicine for the People is an American world music group. It's a 6-member band that's headed by frontman Nako Bear, and their music is globally inspired fusion and their eclectic blend of music and activism. It's formed by frontman Nako Bear, and they offer a 21st century medicine show for the mind and the soul, combining various music styles with a strong message of social and environmental consciousness. So I was first introduced to this band on Sirius Satellite Radio, probably.
Sirius.
Yeah, on Jam On, Channel 17.
Sweet.
Well, formerly known as 17.
Okay.
I think they got bumped to 309 now, but in any event, yeah, I'm a big fan of their music, and it's great that they have a local connection here. They're actually playing 2 nights. So Nako Bear is going to be playing a solo show on December 30th, and then on the 31st for New Year's Eve, they're doing Nako and Medicine for the People with friends. So there's going to be guest appearances.
Nice. And
that's going to be a great time. Last time they played last year, I think it was around this time. I'm not exactly sure when it was, but the shows sold out. Mm-hmm. I think they had 2 or 3 shows. I think they added a second show or a third show. So tickets are available now at deepdiveithaca.com. Don't sleep on this one if you're thinking about going.
So get your tickets fast.
Yeah, definitely get your tickets now. So, and then in terms of other shows for New Year's Eve, the Upstairs is having a great show with the New Planets, who are one of my favorite bands here locally, homegrown music. And Rose and the Bros is also going to be bringing their Zydeco flavor to the stage. Both of these bands we've talked about at nauseum, I feel like at this point on this show, but super excited to have them playing. And then also our buddy Lil Stupid Ass is going to be opening up. So
good old Stupid Ass.
Come check out those synth sounds early, and it's going to be a great night for music. Love around.
Great. So we have a lot of stuff to end 2023 with a bang, and then start 2024 with a nice step in the right direction. What about any other shows or festivals announcements coming up for 2024?
Yeah, so I was super excited to see that Ithaca Reggae Fest actually, for the earliest ever, they've announced their tickets are on sale. They've set the date. Ithaca Reggae Fest is coming back this year. I believe it's the 6th annual, if I'm right. Yeah, I think that's right. And that will be Friday and Saturday, June 21st and 22nd. And there is a limited number of early bird tickets available now for $20, which is an absolute steal. Definitely, those tickets are going to sell out. So if you're thinking about going to Reggae Fest this year, jump on those right now at ithacareggaefest.com. They will go up to $30 once the early bird tickets are sold out. And then at the gate, they're actually going to be $50. So
it's quite the jump.
Yeah, don't wait. You know, if you think you want to bring a couple of your friends, right? Like, and you're trying to recruit your friends to come with you, and if you wait till the last week, it's $50 a person, right? Yeah, it's like no one's gonna be. People are gonna be like him and Han and making excuses. So buy a couple tickets. I actually bought 4. And it's just for me and my wife, but I wanted to make sure that if I have friends in town...
Voice of experience.
If I have friends in town, I don't want them hemming and hawing about not being able to afford it. So I got a couple extra tickets in my back pocket here.
Nice.
So Giant Panda actually headlined that festival last year.
No kidding.
Yeah, so we'll be talking a little bit more about that.
Very cool.
So I think at this point, we're just going to go ahead and get into our interview with Chris O'Brien, the drummer of Giant Panda Guerilla Dub Squad. For those of you who are not familiar, Giant Panda is a local reggae band. They're known for their unique blend of reggae, dub, and roots music. They were formed in Rochester, New York in the early 2000s, and the band has carved out a distinct niche in the reggae and jam scenes. Their music is characterized by a deep respect for traditional reggae rhythms, combined with a love for improvisational ethos of the jam band scene. So they have such a unique sound. I've been a fan of them for a super long time.
Nice.
They've had a very extensive career that I've been following for about the past 20 years now.
Wow.
Their 2012 album, In These Times, peaked at number 5 on the Reggae Albums Chart. 2014, Steady, topped the number 1 spot on the Reggae Albums Chart.
Nice.
In 2016, Make It Better, again claimed the number 1 position on the Reggae Albums Chart. And as recently as 2022, or is it 2021? Love and Time also claimed the number 1 spot.
Okay.
And on that album, they worked with Anthony B., Clinton Fearon, Albarosi, and The Movement. So they've had a very successful career. I feel like they're at the top of the North American reggae scene. They've also played reggae on the rocks at Red Rocks. And they also, last year, as I mentioned, they headlined the Ithaca Reggae Festival. And what was really unique about that show was they were dubbed out by the legendary Dubmaster Scientist. It was such a treat. We had such a good time. And their success isn't limited to reggae, though. In 2015, their album Bright Days, while not reaching the top of the reggae chart, still managed to secure a spot on the top Heat Seekers albums chart, showcasing their ability to appeal to broader audiences. So,
love it.
I mean, I could go on and on about this band. I'm serious. I absolutely love these guys. They've had 7 full-length albums. They've had 2 live albums. And today, we're honored to have Chris O'Brien, the drummer for Giant Panda Guerilla Dub Squad.
Drum roll, please.
He is known
Drum roll.
What's up, Chris? He is known for his skillful and energetic playing style as the backbone of the band's rhythm section. O'Brien's drumming is integral to their sound, providing both a solid foundation and creative flourishes that enhance their music. His ability to blend traditional reggae rhythms with other influences helps create the unique sound that Panda is known for. So without further ado, Chris O'Brien, great to have you on the show. Yes. How are you today?
So great to be here. Thank you, Pete. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate you guys having me.
Absolutely.
Always a pleasure to talk with you. Appreciate the couple decades of support, Pete. You're making us both feel old.
I know, right? I can't believe
it's been it's been a pleasure to have you along the way the whole time, man. Really, we appreciate your support so much.
You're welcome.
Love this.
Really enjoyed all the shows back at Club Infinity up in Buffalo in the early mid 2000s. Always great to connect with you guys over the years. And so without further ado, I think we're just going to hop right into these questions. Sean, why don't you take it away with our first question here for Chris?
Sounds good. Chris, buddy, can you take us back to the early days of Panda? Like, how did the band come together? Like, what was the initial steps in forming the group? Like, can you kind of go, like the initial steps of just starting your musical journey, please?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I formed the band with my brother and James, who is still the bass player. Dylan Savage, who is still the guitar player, joined on right after that. I mean, basically your classic American band story. We grew up together and we were jamming. We were playing a bunch of different types of tunes. We were playing some rock. We got into some fusion. And when we were in our late teenage years, we got into 70s reggae. And one thing led to another. James, being an Ithaca college student, went to Ghana in 2001.
Okay.
And pretty much when he was there, we were like, okay, we're going to be a reggae band when you come back.
Yeah.
Love it.
Me and my brother were living above a Ruckus bar in downtown Rochester where we shouldn't have been. And listening to a bunch of Lee Scratch Perry and Burning Spear, and we just kind of tried it, and one thing led to another, and it was really Ithaca based, honestly. Our first concert as Giant Panda Guerilla Dub Squad was definitely in Ithaca.
That's awesome.
And
I love it.
We pretty much got our roots there, man.
Hell yeah.
I love it.
And as the drummer, who have been your biggest musical influences, or who did you guys look up to back in those times when you were first getting together as a band, and what kind of shaped your style? And this is a two-part question, actually. And in addition to that, are there any drummers that are currently touring now that you really admire?
Yeah, definitely. Over the years, I'm 39, I listen to a bunch of different types of music. And it is always funny. Every once in a while, a couple times a year, I'll be listening to some music that I've listened to forever and be like, oh, wow, this person had a huge influence on my drumming, and I guess I've really never acknowledged it.
Yeah.
So, like, right off the top of my head, like, a couple odd ones that you wouldn't associate with a reggae drummer, per se, North American reggae drummer being, like, legitimately huge influences. DJ Shadow,
yes.
Zigaboo Modalise from the Meters.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know who Fiona Apple's drummer is, dude, but they've influenced my drumming. Yeah, there's a bunch of funny ones. There's a bunch of, obvious ones and people that are dear friends of mine. Joe Tomino has been a huge influence on me. Joe plays with Dub Trio, but also has played a lot with Modest Yahoo.
Yes.
He did the European tour with the Fugees. He's just one of those amazing human beings who happens to be like one of the best drummers in the world. With the internet, you can just like jump on the internet and see any of these jazz dudes. I follow a guy named Dan Weiss out of New York City closely. I was lucky enough to take some lessons with a guy named Ted Poore, who went to Eastman School of Music in Rochester. And he's out in Seattle just literally annihilating the jazz drum scene.
Nice.
I believe he's touring with Madison Cunningham, who's doing really well right now. But what I was going to say is you can just go on to Instagram and see like a 7-year-old who's like way better than me at the drums.
Right.
So lately I've been just taking my influence from like the world,
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow, look at this freaking kid. And I show my kids, I'm just like,
yeah,
that's
wow.
so cool.
That is awesome.
It is cool. If you can curate your toxic social media to just kind of inspire you, it can be useful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That being said, I've got a good quick one. Someone that is inspiring me that is currently touring hard. I saw the band Boy Genius play Saturday Night Live, as pretty much the rest of the world did, a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. I was not there. I was not there in person. Yeah, my phone, shout out Team Pixel, me and Pete, my phone, knew that me and my kids like Boy Genius, so it pushed their viral SNL performance on me very hard. I didn't even really acknowledge that I was watching it the night after it happened. But anyway, I watched this, and Boy Genius is Phoebe Bridgers, Lucy Dacus, and Julian Baker, 3 ladies doing the big-time girl power thing.
Yes.
It's very cool. They have a full girl band, and they are so good. They rock so hard. So I watched this Saturday Night Live performance. No joke. I picked up my kids and was like, yo, guys, I'm going to blow your mind right now because the performance is so good.
Yeah.
Me and my 9-year-old, I had the chance to get pre-sale tickets to see them, and I didn't because, New York City, Madison Square Garden,
right.
indie rock show, whatever.
Right.
I was like, Oscar, I was like, dude, we screwed up. We should have gone to that show. They're totally rocking. Okay, so it's that happened on Saturday, and it's Sunday. Little old Rochester, New York. I go see Mike Doty, who was in Soul Coughing back in the day, if you're familiar with them.
I'm not, but I'm sure some of our listeners are.
Yes, they are. New York City punk rock, you would definitely recognize. Not punk rock. New York City before it was safe rock and roll.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
He's very outspoken. Check it out. You'll dig it. Anyway, I'm seeing Mike Doty at Flower City Station in downtown Rochester, 300-person room. And the band comes out, and this female drummer comes out and just starts annihilating the drums.
Yes.
And I lean over to my friend Clay Patrick McBride, who is a photographer who is friends with Mike Doty and went early to take their pictures, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, yo, dude, funny, I saw a incredible female drummer on Saturday Night Live just last night. And he goes, that's the same girl. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, what was the name of the band, bro? And I was like, Boy Genius. And he's like, yeah, that's their drummer.
Oh, that's why.
And I was like,
no kidding.
No way. So I like straight fanboyed into the backstage after the show and hung out with Matt and Klaas, who is an absolute monster of a drummer, like full sold out MSG. I was like, yo, I'm sorry. You were on Saturday Night Live last night. And she's like, yeah, dude.
So
no biggie.
Yeah, unbelievable. And so nice, so cool. I'm like, I still have goosebumps from it. I'm just like, wow, dude. And the tone, like, again, for those of you that know soul coughing, she nailed the soul coughing drum tone, which is so specific.
Yeah.
She nailed it so hard, whereas like 12 hours previous, she was nailing the Boy Genius performance. And I say to anyone listening, check out the Boy Genius performance of SNL. Julian Baker, literally in the middle of the stage, turns around and looks at Matt and Klaas and claps, because she obviously, to anyone watching, leads the performance. Top of the mix, just crushing the drums.
Dude,
that is my current touring inspiration, Matt and Klaas.
Dude, that is awesome. I'm so glad that you had something so relevant. We talk about current like that is, like as in the past month. So it sounds like you have an extremely diverse range when it comes to your drumming influences. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
So you actually kind of answered one of my questions I had, but I don't know if you have another example. So I was going to say, Chris, throughout your time with Panda, what has been like one of your most memorable moments or performances for you, like personally, like?
And we're going back 20 years here, so we realize we're really asking you to
overthink it. Just pick one.
But
you mentioned Reggae on the Rocks, which is annual, I believe, the longest annual running thing at Red Rocks. It's like a little all-day reggae festival.
Yeah.
And we got to play that, and it was absolutely a dream come true. And I'm pretty sure me hitting my snare drum was like the first loud noise of the day when we set up.
Yes.
And that was absolutely amazing. We played a festival, Rossberry, which turned into Electric Forest.
Yeah.
And I remember we played that a long time ago, and we were one of the first bands, like we usually are on those huge festivals.
Yeah.
And we watched, I remember playing our set, like they were like, it's go time, guys. And it was like the exact moment they like opened the like centeroo, if you will.
What year was this?
The main area or whatever. And so we started playing our set to an empty field, and like out of like a zombie apocalypse movie, like thousands of people like popped through the woods.
That's amazing.
Started walking
oh my
towards
gosh!
Nice.
Just play and they will
that
come.
That was a very, very long time ago. Yeah, but I was like, whoa, there are people here. Cool.
And
that was a big one. And sorry.
No, go ahead.
Clinton Farron, you also mentioned. We did a nice run with Clinton Farron, who is a living reggae legend from modern times and back in the day.
Absolutely.
Jamming drum and bass. Me on drums, Clinton Farron on bass. That is a lifetime achievement level up for me, and it was something I will always remember.
That's amazing. Yeah, I definitely love your collaborations with Clinton Farron. That has been some of the best stuff that you guys have put out, even on the most recent album that you guys had. That music video that you guys did was really great. So nice.
It really was. James kept that close to the numbers, man. I didn't know that was a thing until I saw it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah, very cool.
All right, so... yeah, go ahead. Did you have something else to add to that?
No, I'm sorry. Clinton, what's cool about that music video is Clinton recorded his stuff in Paris.
Wow.
And De La Bro Tree recorded his video in Ghana, dude. So that is like a seriously international tune with a seriously international video.
So cool.
That is cool.
That is great stuff. And what was the name of that song?
That is Chance.
Chance, that's right.
C-H-A-N-T-S.
And that's off your latest album. So check that out. Check that video out. It's on YouTube. It's Chance by Giant Panda Guerilla Dog Squad. Yeah,
do it.
Great video. I also have that vinyl, which is amazing. You guys have like that smoked out, like see-through vinyl. I could like hold it up and look out the window to my backyard and see the green of the trees straight through the vinyl.
Nice.
That was the first time I'd ever seen anything like that. That was pretty amazing.
Right.
So.
That's cool. Yeah, I was stoked with the smoky vinyl. Yeah, it's cool how many different options there are for that.
So I know that you guys are always working on new music, and you did just come out with a new album last year. But what do you guys have next for Panda? Are there any upcoming projects or tours or anything that's going on that fans could be excited about?
Always. But the reality is we're going to play these 2 shows. We're going to kind of hunker down for the winter. We're going to focus on content.
Yes.
And, you know, man, we're all
Pete's
fully grown adults, and there are more small pandas than band member pandas.
That's right.
And that, you know, a harsh reality, and you know, I feel like this might be, I might again be answering a follow-up question. A harsh reality of being in a band in 2023 is that one little snippet of content on a Monday morning could do more than getting in the van with everybody, renting a bunch of hotels, eating a bunch of gas station food, and being gone from your family for like a week.
Right. Yeah.
You might have more, you might make more fans and literally make more money posting some silly video on Instagram. Or a really awesome one, you know? I'm not dissing any of that stuff. I'm just saying, like, I say to my guys every once in a while, we go play a tough weekend, and I'm like, guys, we could get together on a Monday and Tuesday and make some really cool stuff that, like, honestly could end up making more waves than the festival in Missouri we just played.
Yeah, that's a very astute and good point that you just made, Chris.
And I definitely enjoy following you guys online. You guys are always pumping out good content. It's always great to connect with you guys online. We really appreciate that presence on there, even if you're not touring or not in the studio. But we'll definitely be...
you know, we it ebbs and flows. We're good at it and then bad at it for a long time. James, God bless him, is definitely like the leader of the band in every way, who keeps that momentum going even when it feels dry, you know. Absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you, in the 20 years that I've been following you guys, it has never felt dry. I feel like you guys are always coming out with new stuff every few years, always touring. One of the great things about living in Ithaca is that you guys play the Grassroots Festival every year. I think that's one of the longest running concurrent playing bands at Grassroots Festival, so always great to have you guys there every year.
Kudos to you guys, Chris. That's definitely tough.
Always love Grassroots. And let me just jump back to some of the shows you guys were saying. Rose and Bros, love it.
Absolutely.
My man Max Childs is opening for Naco on the 30th.
Oh, nice. I did not really. Thank you for plugging that.
Yeah, he played keys with us over the summer, and he's actually playing keys with us on the 29th at Deep Dive.
Oh, get out of here.
So that will be awesome.
Good stuff.
Yeah, Max is a really cool dude. He just recorded his own live album.
Yeah, we featured that here on the show, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's pretty epic. Lastly, $20 tickets to Reggae Festival. Is this real life?
Yeah, I know, right? Like, get them when you can.
I'm like, I'll take them all.
I know that they don't normally book bands on back-to-back years, so if you guys don't end up playing this year, please come down.
Maybe I'll just end up jamming.
Yeah,
exactly.
If you guys don't have shows elsewhere, please come down and stay. And just so you know, I've extended this offer before. You guys are always welcome to stay. We have extra places to stay, so definitely hit me up if you need a place to stay.
Nice.
Love that, bro. You're the best.
All right, Chris, I gotta ask you, man. Do you have a favorite Panda song that you like to perform? And if so, what makes it stand out for you personally?
You know, it's really funny. I feel like it changes from time to time.
Sure.
I feel like whenever we bust out a new tune, that's a really fun one for a while.
Right.
But the of course, the funny reality when you've been in a band for 20 years we have like a million songs, and my favorite ones are usually the ones we're not playing.
Okay.
Like, I always find myself, because I don't write the songs, so it's like I don't have the final say.
Right.
But I always find myself begging Dylan to play Solution or Trouble Deep, or begging James to
Trouble
play
Deep.
All My Life.
Oh, my gosh.
There's my brother, who we formed the band with, but it hasn't been in the band for like a decade, is like, dude, you guys have so many bangers you don't play.
Seriously, yeah.
And I totally agree. I just feel like these guys, when they write a freshie, they like to get it out, and it's nice to think that your newest stuff is the freshest and what people want to hear the most. But
well, I got a solution for
seven
this.
Records, and
I've got a solution for this. I think we gotta get like a Panda festival. I know there's a lot of logistics involved with that. I know that there's just so much involved with something like this, but I would love it if you guys had a Panda festival. You know what I mean? Do the thing where you're playing like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then you can come and you can get
you're not wrong,
all
man.
the songs that you want to hear. I mean, you're playing these shows where you play for an hour and a half, 2 hours. That's great, but I feel like I need like a 3 nights of Panda. So I'm gonna reach out to you guys. We're gonna try and get something going here.
Yeah, dude, you're totally right. It is. We are well overdue on our little party turning into a regional festival, turning into a real thing. If we had done it 10 years ago, we'd be having our 10th one this year. But like you said, we are musicians, and there is a lot that goes into that. We've put out the initial feelers a few times before,
right?
And kind of just pulled back.
Right,
but you're right, dude. We get up there and play for 150 minutes sometimes.
Yeah.
Off like, wow, we didn't. There's a lot of stuff we didn't play.
Absolutely. So
it's funny. My new band with my brother, we get up and play every single song that we have in our library, and we're like, okay, that's over.
And people are like, encore. You're like, that's all of our songs.
Yeah, we're like, you don't want an encore because we'll be phoning it in,
Right. All right,
Yeah.
So you talked a little bit earlier on in the show about how Ithaca had an impact on you guys early on. How has the local culture or the music scene influenced you guys with playing the Reggae Fest so many times, playing Grassroots Festival? Like, what has Ithaca meant to you guys as a band?
I mean, we are Rochester kids, but there is no other place beside Rochester that has shaped this band even closely beside Ithaca, New York. I was driving up playing Castaways when I was in high school, and David Gould was one of our original reggae men. David Gould is the first person who came out and saw us and was like, okay, you guys are officially a reggae band. This is reggae. You are playing reggae.
Yeah.
And he gave us a mix. He gave us a CD. He was like, if you don't know these tunes, learn them. You need to know them. These are reggae classics, and you can't be in a reggae band and not know these tunes. And it was like 20 tunes, and now I know every breath of them.
Yeah.
Kevin Kinsella, dude, literally a life goal of mine when I was 17 years old was to release something on iTown Records.
Yeah. And you guys had a great performance last year at Grassroots. You guys were the backing band for him. I've never seen the infield so filled in at that time of day. That was such a great show.
And it really was. And we got to do it the rest of that weekend, too. We went on a little run with Kevin, and I wish we had done it in the reverse order because we really dialed it in over the weekend, and we slayed so hard on that Saturday in New Hampshire with him, or the next Saturday rather.
Yes.
We really dialed that in, and it's always bittersweet when you do like 4 shows with someone, and at the end of the 4th set, you're like, damn, we should really like take that on the road. And it's like, yeah, we just did.
Yeah. Well, for what it's worth, I think you guys could definitely take that on the road. Maybe that's something you guys should try and work out for next year. I mean, I
Definitely.
think to me
Kevin's
that's
got
like
some great new material.
Absolutely, it's the best of both worlds. And Kevin plays Grassroots every year. I'm not sure how that collaboration worked out last year, but next time I see Kevin here in Ithaca, I'm going to say, hey, see if you can get Panda to back you up. If the stars align, you guys are in town when he plays. Sometimes I know that you guys play Grassroots on like a Thursday, and then you've got to head out of town and go play other festivals, but would love to see you guys back out there at the infield again this year. So super good stuff.
Me too, man.
So we have just a few more questions here for you. Thank you so much for taking so much time to meet with us today. We were curious if you have any pre-show rituals or routines that help you guys get ready for your shows.
You know, man, that's a great question, and I have like an awkward, funny answer.
This is great. This is what we're going for here.
Yeah. Give us the dirt.
We do like a funny hands-in and like lately Eli has been like leading a like breathing exercise.
Yes.
And I feel to me, and I've never even said this out loud, to me they're like kind of cheesy and we don't really do them. We're like doing it to pretend we did it. Whereas Chris O'Brien's actual pre-show ritual is like silence, like by myself, like, you know, I keep walking out the back door like over and over again. And like oftentimes you'll be really tired on the road, and I've learned that my body can do this thing where I go from like exhausted to like full blast of energy. Yeah. So I usually am like in a weird, floaty, quiet state, and then like I'm like, okay, we're actually going on in like 120 seconds, and my body like shoots energy through it, and I like do a couple jumping jacks, and I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, right. I've definitely seen you guys.
It's funny, man. Yeah, we do. I do not have like a good, healthy one.
Well, it's funny.
Wish that I did.
I have seen you guys do your huddle. I've noticed before. I've been backstage before at the Reggae Fest and some other shows. You guys definitely huddle up together. You do like a moment where you all come together, which I think is really amazing, and just kind of get dialed in right before the show.
Yeah, and I'm not dissing my guys. You know, it's always nice to take a minute with your boys, and oftentimes James does, you know, give us a little pep talk that is obviously straight from the heart and meaningful.
Let's go to number 10.
And I'm all about the deep breathing, dude. I'm just, you know, I'm just being real with you. Me before a show, I'm often like in some weird zone that I can't really describe.
Yeah, seriously, right on. All right, so Sean, you got another question here for us? We got two more on our super long list here. Thank you for sticking with us.
Yeah, man, Chris.
Oh yeah,
thank you so
man,
much.
I appreciate it. Anyone that made it this far, thank you. You know?
All right, so
always down to chat.
Cool, Chris. As we mentioned on the top of the show, you have had a show coming up in Ithaca soon. What can fans expect from the performance? Is there anything special planned for the show at Deep Dive in Ithaca and the following night at Ironworks in Buffalo?
There definitely is.
Nice.
We are going to pull some tricks out of the old hat. I'm not going to spoil anything now, but
no spoilers.
As we've discussed, there's a lot of material, and got to come to that show. It should be really fun. Should be a really fun time. I've never not had a fun time in that room. So
I mean, I will say,
I'm sure it will be fun.
You guys bring the heat to every show. I mean, you have the big band most of the time when you guys are out, especially these upstate New York shows. You always bring in the big brass band. You always have a lot of guests. It's a family affair, so I can't wait. I wouldn't miss it for anything. Super excited. And
heck yeah, Pete.
And I think you had mentioned that you actually have a show coming up in February at Deep Dive. What's going on with that show?
Yeah, please tell us.
Yeah, just quickly, I did start another band with my brother. It's all his tunes. We are called Flying Object.
Yes.
We're on Instagram called Flying Object is a Band is the handle.
Okay.
And it's funny, you know. It's funny. I'm privileged to have my brother as like one of my favorite songwriters. That
one of my favorite
forever
people.
Jealous of. Yeah, it's a bizarre thing. I wish I could do what he does, but hey, at least I'm his brother.
And do you know the date on that show?
Pete, I think it's February 2nd. It might be February 3rd. We are opening for the reggae band Bumpin' Uglies.
Yes.
Okay.
Right
Okay.
on. Can't wait.
Yeah, so that will be super fun, and I'm having a really good time playing with my brother. It's been a really long time. Kind of COVID got it going. I got a little rehearsal space, and we just started jamming on Monday mornings.
Yes.
One thing led to another, and we started taking gigs. So, yeah, we're having a lot of fun.
I like it.
So good. Well, Chris, hey, I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on with us.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
Me and Sean started up this podcast maybe a couple months ago. This is probably our 7th or 8th episode.
Yeah.
We really felt like leading up to this week that we had actually hit the big time here because we had a guest.
Yeah.
And we had a celebrity
This
guest
is so cool.
from my favorite band. So
I am very, very humbled to be called a celebrity, and very happy to be here with you guys. And I
appreciate it so much.
Opening the next chapter of your podcast, and hopefully you'll get some more epic interviews on it.
Yeah, Chris, thank you so much, buddy. I can't wait to meet you, man.
Right on, Chris.
My pleasure.
All right.
Sean, Pete, take care, you guys.
Take care, brother.
Take care, Chris.
Thanks again. Peace.
So cool, man.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
We have to do that more often.
Yeah, we should. It's just been such a cool journey over here the past couple months, doing this podcast with you, Sean, and
Likewise.
being able to bring in somebody like this has been really awesome.
Yeah.
And so don't forget to get your tickets to Giant Panda Guerilla Dub Squad, deepdiveithaca.com, coming up at the end of the month. Super excited.
Oh, I'm excited.
So, hey, thank you everybody who stuck with us so far today.
Yes.
Sean came to me at the beginning of the show. He said, hey, I think we're going to take a lot of time, working on this interview with Chris and doing this interview. He's like, what do you think? Should we just skip the hiking spot this week? I said, no, Sean. I'm like, people want to hear about the hiking spots. And in fact, I know there's some people who are really looking forward to the spot that you've picked out. I'm going to give a shout out real quick. My father-in-law, Joe, he's actually been talking with my brother-in-laws, the Page brothers.
Page 1 and Page 2.
Page 1 and Page 2.
Boys.
And I think they've been taking notes, actually, of the different spots to hit up. So I just want you to know that all the work that you're putting in each week to coming up with these really...
It's very minimal.
...kind of odd hiking spots.
Thanks, brother.
You've got this great catalog of lean-tos and trails.
Yeah.
And so tell me, what is the hiking spot that you picked out for us this week?
So for this week, I picked out Fillmore Glen State Park, which is in the town of Moravia, which is about maybe 25, 30 minutes north of Ithaca.
Which side of the lake?
North, so straight north.
Okay, straight north of Ithaca. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, if you go to Lansing, it's like halfway. If you're in Lansing, it's halfway there.
Okay.
I've been there a few times. It's just under 1,000 acres of state park land in Moravia. It's got 5 waterfalls. And I was doing a little research, so it's named after the 13th president of the United States of America, Millard Fillmore, who...
I thought that name sounded familiar.
Yeah, fun fact for you, was born 5 miles from the town of Moravia. So we have like a lot of American history in upstate New York.
Very cool.
The park's pretty cool because it offers like swimming in the summertime. It's got picnic tables, pavilions. It's got cabins, so you can camp there. Activities in the wintertime include snowmobiling. You can go hiking there. You can go camping there. You can go cross-country skiing there. It's a really cool spot. Like I said, it's not too far from Ithaca. Really cool falls and super accessible to everyone of all abilities.
Okay, right out. And how many times have you been there?
I've been there twice. I was in there in the spring and the summertime. I have not been there in the wintertime, which I would love to go check out in the wintertime.
Okay.
Like I said, it's half hour from Ithaca. If you want to get out of town, but like not really drive like a couple hours, it's right there.
And the 2 times that you went, did you stay overnight? Did you do day trips? What was it like for you?
It was a day hike loop.
Okay.
I have not camped there yet. I'd be curious to camp there. I'm sure it's probably pretty easy and accessible with the campground there. It is in New York State Park with a lot of the amenities there.
And what makes this trail, or what makes this place unique compared to some of the places that we've talked about over the past few weeks here?
I think it's one of your best bang for your bucks.
Okay.
A half-hour drive from if you live in Ithaca. It's not too far from Syracuse, and you kind of get a lot of boxes checked there. You get the views there. You get like a nice hike there. You get the camp there. You have activities year-round. yeah, it's totally worth a trip to go check it out.
Yeah, right on. And then how would you rate the difficulty level of like the trails that you hiked on? Was there a lot of incline?
I'd say it's probably pretty flat for about as flat as it comes.
Okay.
And if you're just visiting there for a hike, it's pretty easy. If you're camping there, it's super easy. I would say it's probably pretty easy.
Okay,
overall,
nice.
Yeah.
And are there scenic overlooks or anything like that? Are there any special lean-tos that you checked out, or was it more just kind of hitting the loop and getting your cardio in?
So I read that there's a cabin there that's a recreation of Mildred Fillmore's like house he grew up in.
Oh,
Which
really?
I have not. I don't know if I've seen it or not.
Okay.
But there are like random lean-tos there, and there's tons of cool waterfalls there to check out.
And do they allow mountain biking or biking on those trails, or is it mostly just walking over there?
Yeah, I imagine it's mostly walking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, dude.
And I imagine it's probably beautiful this time of year when the snow's trickling in.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to put that on our list. For those of you taking notes at home, definitely check it out. And we'll have to try and get out there at some point this spring or this winter.
Or this winter.
The snow has not flown yet, so
Not really.
There's still time to get out there for some hikes.
Absolutely.
So, all right, well, that pretty much wraps up another episode of the Pulse of Ithaca podcast. We'd like to thank everybody for listening and sticking with us tonight. We hope that this interview with Chris O'Brien was enlightening as it was for you as much as it was for us.
Yes.
It's just so good to get people on here telling us about their musical influences and what the band has going on.
Totally.
And I'm your host, Pete, and of course, I've always been joined by the ever insightful Sean. I hope you also take this opportunity to discover Fillmore Glen State Park. If you love what you heard today, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on your favorite podcast platform. Your support goes a long way in helping us bring you the latest and greatest from Ithaca every week. Until next time, keep your finger on the pulse of Ithaca and make the most of this amazing place we call home. Take care, everyone.